Next, let's set up a custom HUD. So over here, I've made a small basic HUD. There it is. Just 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. Pause and then X for X and back to the title screen, and then mute, and then this is a link out. This will be a link out button. Okay, so to set up the custom HUD, I'm going to go over here to the index and say number sign HUD back. Any div with the ID of HUD back to have this style. Okay, so we're going to say image rendering pixelated, and also image rendering crisp edges. Okay, to be sure. And then the width of our image is 96 pixels and the height is 16. Background, no repeat, URL. Okay. Small basic HUD.png. Any div with the ID of HUD back will use this as its style. So we can save that. And now in the game, to tell it that we want to use a custom HUD, we're going to say this dot setup custom health HUD. Then we put HUD back here, telling it that that is the ID that we wanted to give the div that it's going to set up for us to be the HUD space. We're going to take away this dot remove HUD. So if we save this and we have our style over there and run it now, that's what we get. The HUD right here. Okay, it's not, we haven't made anything clickable, it's just there. Ideally, we don't want it to be shown on the title screen. We want this to appear only after we've started the game. Okay, so let's do that. So we'll say we were using remove HUD to take away the HUD, the whole HUD system completely is removed when you say this dot remove HUD. So we don't want to do that to hide the HUD. We just use this dot hide custom HUD. There's more about all this in the documentation. Okay, but this is all anybody would need to do a basic setup. So now we've hidden it and we want it to display when the game starts. And also we want to move it to the right side of the screen. So in before start game, we'll say this dot show custom HUD, and the first 4 variables don't matter in this case. Okay, but the last variable is a custom CSS we can pass to it. So we're going to position it absolute at left of 448 pixels. Okay, so the whole width of the game is 544. So we're moving the HUD to 96 pixels away from the right side of the screen. And let's say the top would be 2 pixels, just to put it a little below the top of the screen. Its width is 96 pixels and its height is 16. Hide custom HUD and show custom HUD. We hide custom HUD as we see the title screen because we don't want to see the HUD on the title screen. And so right before the game starts, show the custom HUD. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so on the title screen it's not there. And then there it is on the right hand side as the game starts. Okay, so we have our HUD displayed, but nothing happens when we click on it. We need to set up buttons for it. And thankfully there's the set up standard buttons method. The standard buttons are a pause button, a exit to title screen, a mute, and a link. Set up standard buttons. Okay, and for that we just need to pass the X and Y location of this is going to be the pause button location and its width and height. Okay, and then the exit to title button is at 480, 0, 16, and 16. Okay, and then 504, that's for the mute button. And then 528 is the link button position. Okay, and for now, let's just have it say more games. It also assigns different methods to each one. It assigns pause to the pause button. It assigns mute, unmute to the mute button. And it assigns full reset to title to the exit button. After we set up the buttons, we have to append the buttons also. So we say this dot append standard actually puts them on the screen. Okay, they're HTML divs. In back to title, we'll say this dot remove standard buttons so that they can't be clicked. They are still set up. We append standard buttons to put the buttons there to be selectable, and then we remove standard buttons when we go back to the title screen. Okay, so let's see all that happening. Okay, so now we've got our buttons. We can pause it, unpause it, go back to the title screen. Okay. Because we're using the current level var that we made earlier, if I go to level 2 and then exit and press start again, starts me at level 2. Okay, so that's what's happening with current level property.